First grade to 12th grade, 4 years of college, our friends across the pond call it uni, and 4 years of professional school. I spent 20 years in school, and the thing they taught me about money was that when I was done, I owed them a bunch of money. Here's 10 things they should have taught instead. Number 1, money is made up. Imagine a world where money doesn't exist. You wake up and you find out your toilet isn't working. Your sink and shower aren't either. You need a plumber. You call one, he comes over and tells you he can fix the problem, but he's obviously not going to do it for free. You offer to cut his hair, but the plumber is bald. The only way you're going to get your water back on is if you're able to trade your skills and services, but there's obviously some problems with this system because what you can provide isn't always needed by the person that can help you. So humans made up money so that we can exchange goods and services in a more efficient way. Number 2, money is infinite. Because money is just something we made up to make life easier, we have to remember that the rules of money can change. Most of us think that money is this finite resource. Have you ever heard the phrase money doesn't grow on trees? Well, I do agree money literally does not grow on trees, but it can be created. The US Federal Reserve printed $3.3 trillion in 2020 that didn't exist before. Because US dollars are constantly being printed, every dollar that you own actually gets you a little bit less every year. This is known as inflation, which leads me to number 3, money can be used to make more money. Because of inflation, the money that we have becomes worth less as time goes on. So if your money isn't being used to make more money, you're losing value. So we've come up with ways to use money to make more money. These are commonly known as investments, and there are a lot of different kinds of them. Be warned, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice, and you could lose money investing, but if you're not growing your money, you're losing money. It's just the way the system works. Some common investments are real estate, stocks, bonds, and even some more abstract ones like investing in yourself, for example, like your own education or starting your own business. Number 4, you have to provide value to get money. It's great that we can do all these things with money, but in order to get it first, you do have to provide some sort of good or service. Most people do this by getting a job where they use their skills to help provide a business the ability to serve customers. Some people sell things like clothes or houses or stickers on the internet. Some people make music or drive race cars or help send things to space. Either way, you must do or create something of value that can in turn be exchanged for value. This video right now is an example of this value exchange. I give you 10 things school should have taught you about money. You give this video your time, and YouTube serves an ad to some of you and cuts me in on the revenue. If you're finding this video valuable, consider clicking the like button and subscribing for more content. Number 5, how to make a budget. You've probably heard of a budget before, but a lot of people seem to get this wrong. A budget is not a list of money that you make and what you spend it on. That is a statement. A budget is a series of very specific items and the dollar amount that you allocate to each of those things. Then you just have to keep to the budget. Things that you're going to commonly see on a budget are rent or a mortgage payment, food, clothes, gas, utilities, normal stuff we all need to live. You might also see investments and savings. The main problem I have with the last two is that they're not specific enough. You should try to figure out how much you need to be investing every month for target retirement goals and be very clear about what those investments are. Is it the S&P 500? Is it crypto? Is it a small business? And savings for an emergency fund is different than savings for a down payment on a car or house and other big ticket items. Now, how you spend your money is your business. I'm no expert, but I will say that in my experience, if I have money left over at the end of the month, it always goes somewhere. The phrase pay yourself first can help you keep more of your money by making sure the money goes to investments and savings first, then putting money into other categories. You can't invest or save money that's already been spent. Number 6, credit cards aren't free money. Credit cards serve one real purpose: to make the credit card companies money. Every time you swipe your card, a fee is charged and the money goes right to the company. Imagine all those payments globally happening every day. It adds up. I understand that sometimes you have to float some expenses on a credit card for a while. No judgment. Most people aren't buying Lambos on credit. We're usually buying food and clothes and floating major unexpected health expenses. But credit cards are not free money, and carrying the balance is ridiculously expensive. So if you are holding a balance, it pays a lot to get rid of the debt as fast as possible, and it's best to keep cash on hand so you're not having to use the cards in this manner. Credit card companies know that you're the valuable person in the transaction. If you use the card, they get paid, and they will heavily incentivize you to use the card, giving you tons of points when you sign up and for how much money you spend. But even with all those points you get, it's still not worth it to go into credit card debt. No millionaire got to millionaire status from credit card points. And if you disagree, show me the proof in the comments section. Credit cards are a tool that can give you a slight bump up financially if you use them and pay off the balance, or they are an extremely effective way to keep you in debt forever. There is no in between. Number 7, taxes. Loaded subject, mostly because of how complex this can get, and the tax laws seem to change every year. We will barely scratch the surface in this video, but I will try to give you some basics so that way you can have at least a starting point where you can find a professional that can help you with your own specific situation. For most people here in the United States, you're going to work a job, get paid, and the taxes are taken out before the money hits your account. When you get hired, you fill out a W-9 form. This tells the government who you are and how much taxes you want taken out of your checks. If you don't fill this out, your taxes will usually be withheld by a fixed amount. Obviously, I'm speaking generally. Your unique individual situation will vary. In either case, you need to make sure that you are paying your fair share of taxes on your income earned. There are plenty of calculators online to help you get a rough amount. One common misconception about how taxes work has to do with the marginal tax rate. This means that the more money you make, the more each dollar is taxed after a certain amount. Here's a simple example. Your first $1,000 you make is tax-free, 0%, so you made $1,000. Your next $1,000 are taxed at a 1% rate, so you owe $10 in taxes. You made an additional $990 for a total of $1,990. Your next $1,000 are taxed at 2%, so you owe $20 on those dollars as tax, which means you take home an additional $980 for a grand total of $2,970. In this example, we made $3,000, but our overall tax burden is $30. So we took home $2,907 and had an overall tax rate of 1% of our income, even though 1/3 of our money was taxed at 0%, 1/3 was taxed at 1%, and 1/3 was taxed at 2%. But this applies to the state level as well, not just the federal, which means if you live in a state that charges income tax, not all of them do, you owe state taxes as well. They are usually taken out of your paychecks directly, but of course, make sure that is happening at the right rate, and if not, be prepared to pay the IRS. Taxes can get complex very quickly, but most people can typically use free services to file, and as it gets more complex, you're going to want to work with a professional. Number 8, good debt versus bad debt. Debt just means you owe somebody money, but people use debt all the time, whether it's student loans, car loans, mortgages, business loans, credit cards, anything else you can think of where someone owes someone else money. The difference between good debt and bad debt is that good debt is money owed that you're using to make more money, and bad debt is money owed that is costing you money. There are general trends. For example, credit card debt is almost always bad, but it can be really circumstantial for other kinds of debts like cars, homes, and student loans. Either way, if you decide to take on debt for any reason, you'll want to consider what you're gaining by having it and if it's worth it, because when the bill comes due, the money comes out of your own pocket. Number 9, risk management. I've talked about this before on this channel. My working theory is that the markets reward risk-taking, but do not reward risky behavior. The example I've used in the past is dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin versus taking out a second mortgage on a home and investing into Bitcoin at the top of the market. In the example, an investment into the same asset was made, but it was a totally different approach. When it comes to your money, investing what you can afford to lose, having a long-term horizon, and investing in assets with stable growth and good historical returns is typically the best thing for most people. People that I know, including myself, prioritize long-term investing into safer assets, and anything left over is either saved or put into higher risk assets with the expectation that it's going to be gone forever. Most people who try day trading lose money. Most people are terrible at picking individual stocks, and most people would be better off investing in the overall markets because even hedge funds rarely beat the markets in the long term. Typically, playing it safe is much more boring, but you usually win in the end. Number 10, we all have a different relationship with money. The book Psychology of Money is one of the best reads on money and is basically everywhere on social media these days because, it's really eye-opening. The main takeaway from the Psychology of Money is that personal finance and investing have a lot to do with human behavior and emotions. The book talks about the importance of understanding your own biases when it comes to money. It also talks about key behavior traits like patience, discipline, and the ability to control emotions and how they play a role in financial success. This book would be a great place to continue your learning about money and this channel as well. So feel free to subscribe for more content. Don't forget to click the link below if you found value in the video, and I'll see you in the next video.